What's up, fight fans? This is Kirk Joyce with Counterpunch Boxing News. I will let the chat load. Night Talks is in full effect. I am off and I am loving it. We have one on the chat. I will let it load. This has been one hell of a day. You know, I was watching the media workout. Okay, this is what I want to cover. The media workout between, the undercard and the fighters that's fighting Saturday night. You have Anthony Joshua, you have Kubrat Pulev, and I will let it load. I will let people come on. We got two on the chat. Let YouTube send out the notifications after, I know they are so good they do. Dolby the dude. Yo, Kurt, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you, Dolby the dude, or Dilby the dude. Sorry, Dilby. But I saw Lawrence Okolie. Lawrence Okolie has a heavy right hand. He's heavy punches to be in his weight class. I don't know how good of a heavyweight if he will become, if he ever becomes one, but I was impressed. He has good form, and if he can get some good leverage behind those punches, I think it would. I think he's knocking somebody out. We had Huey Fury. He's looking like a chip off the old block of the Hueys, or should I say the Furies. It was interesting, this media workout. It was like you had media there, but they were kind of spread out, so it really didn't feel like a media workout. You know what I mean? Media workouts, you have that, the whole Andre Rodriguez, what's up, boxing master, working on a computer, and boom, Counterpunch. Absolutely. I'm glad they did their notifications. Hit that bell icon. But yeah, that's the stupidest thing though. Why do people, I'm looking at this lady, she's looking at me like with this fucking mask on. I'm like, why do you got a mask on in your fucking car? Like, if you don't trust your own you don't trust your own fucking germs, like your germs are gonna have corona. In that case, you're late. You're just giving corona back to yourself if that's the case. So stupid, you know what I mean? And she looked at me like, I don't know, some people are scared on this, like overly scared on this corona shit, man. I'm serious. It is serious, like to certain genre of people, but like the way shit's going, it's just fucking ridiculous. That was some funny shit. I just looked in and she was just like, what the hell? Oh yeah, that's right, 7:54, cool. Hold on a second. People like getting worked up. Yeah, I guess it gives them something to do. But the media workout, man, let me tell you, it was mediocre. The media workout was mediocre. Feels like to me these guys wrap their hands just to show that they're good at wrapping their fucking hands. They really didn't do anything. Kubrat Pulev, he threw a couple punches, but nobody even put their gloves on. You know what I mean? So I don't get it. Like Pulev, he looks like he's in good shape. You really couldn't see how good of a shape he was in. We won't see that until probably like Friday, at the weigh-in. You know what I mean? They say he's shredded down some, and he's ready or whatnot. They say he has a special look in his eye, and all that good shit, but it's like, all right, show me what you got. I've been doing my homework too. I was watching Kubrat Pulev versus Chisora today. I think I'm gonna, like tonight before I lay it down, if I have time, I'm gonna go back and watch Pulev Klitschko. You know, what didn't he do in the Klitschko fight that he could have done? What can he exploit Joshua on? Joshua didn't do much at all, but see, Joshua doesn't really do much on media workouts these days, because remember when he fought Andy Ruiz, he really didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? He threw a couple punches, smiled and shit, got out of the fucking ring. The end. Meanwhile, Andy Ruiz, you could tell, like, he was hitting the pads and everything. He was hitting the mitts because what's the thing? Yeah, 19, you motherfucker. 19-9. Anyway, you think the body punches strategy of AJ is the best one? I would do double jab and left hooks Klitschko style. What do you think about those body punches? Well, I mean, I heard Pulev will go to the body. But Pulev, I think his type of style doesn't really warrant him going to the body. It's not going to help him. It's not going to help him any. Pulev is too short for body punches. He ain't that fucking short. Pulev is not that short. Just, you ain't talking about Andy Ruiz. AJ works out like a beast. That's where he gets his confidence. AJ needs to play smart. Pulev is strong. Pulev is strong and he's slick. He's slick with that jab. He works everything really from the jab. You know, and he has a great 1-2. You know, but you see, I think Pulev is not a real quick starter. The one thing that he does really well is his jab. Now that he'll start off with that piston-like jab quick, but understand something. He's a slow starter. I noticed in the Chisora fight, he like wings that right. You know, he wings it, he comes over the guard, and that's a smart move, you know. Then he chops down with it. Pulev has a right guard that will mess with AJ's jab. Well, I don't know. Because one thing we know about Pulev circles with that jab. And, you know, and that's a smart move. And he has that other hand up at times. But if you jab with Pulev, it forces him to either elude or get hit. So you jab with a jabber, you're normally it's gonna be a good fight though, man. I mean, because Pulev is not that type of dude that's gonna leave himself open to get hit with anything. The motherfucker don't give you nothing, you know. Pulev will cause more problems to AJ than Fury will. Wow. AJ beats both, in my opinion. Wow, Motaz Hamid. But you know, I think Pulev, like, the matchups. See, people love to judge certain fighters. And what doesn't make sense is, it would be different if all those other guys have already beat Pulev, and Pulev is just this dude that has been beaten by already the best. No, he's just another tough fighter that could possibly knock one of those top 3 guys out. You know, I would love to see Fury. See, Fury should have fought guys like Pulev years ago. What happens to AJ if he gets beat? Where does he go? He goes for a rematch in that fight with Fury, or is it down to 2? And Bob Arum was right. That's what that means. Bob Arum, the fight with Fury and Wilder would have to happen because Fury would have nowhere to allude to. There is no big fight if Joshua gets beat. It's all about AJ. That's what it's always been about anyway. You know, as far as it comes to Fury. Now, Wilder had his own agenda for wanting to just fight Fury, and he wanted to be just as big as AJ. I keep telling people, those are the ones that came to this channel, and they've been hearing me talk about this whole situation and the intentions of Wilder and all that mess. I told you guys that Wilder, you don't have to fight a guy to want what he has. You understand? Like, Wilder wanted what AJ had, not necessarily the same exact way, but he wanted that notoriety. He wanted the same thing as Anthony Joshua. He wanted the money. He wanted the recognition and all that shit. He wanted that. But if it cost him wanting it to fight Anthony Joshua, he didn't want it that way. He wanted it another way. And you know what? It worked. Because Deontay Wilder didn't have to fight Joshua at all to raise his profile. That's how you clout chase to the fullest. It was an ingenious plan. Wilder clout chased, got his notoriety. People didn't know who the fuck he really was then. He wasn't a big enough heavyweight. As far as we knew about the heavyweight division, we knew Tyson Fury beat Klitschko years ago, and AJ just beat Klitschko. AJ was known in the UK, but when he beat Klitschko, he was known throughout the world. Both of those guys shared the torch of beating Klitschko. Wilder was out. That's why people didn't know who Wilder was. Wilder was there that night. Nobody was calling Wilder's name for nothing because Wilder was that little known heavyweight. Why? Because he did nothing of significance at all. You know, but that didn't stop him from wanting that fame because he knew what everybody else had. He knew who everybody else talked about. You know, let's fight the weakest link of those. Let's fight old cokehead ass, ex-cokehead, broke down ass, bald-headed Fury. Let's fight him. You know, and it backfired. It, you know, shit happens. That's all it really means. But he got the offers, and you know the offer still stands for Wilder. So you know, Wilder can make some money. You know. Johnny Best, Counterpunch to you, brother. Damn. He wanted it, but didn't want to earn it. That's right. He wanted it and didn't want to earn it. That's it. That's basically all it was. Yeah, Pulev is tough. Pulev looks like a Billy Badass, though. He looks like the baddest motherfucker in Bulgaria. You can see him sitting at one of them techno clubs and shit. You know, sitting back at a table full of badass. He's sitting there. You know, he looks like the ultimate villain. Zaros two-time. Counterpunch to you, bro. What's happening? Yeah, Pulev, man, I seen him, but I've been watching Pulev. You know, he has a sneaky jab. You know, but through the media, I mean, the media workout, guys, it was a waste of fucking time. You know, now for the undercard guys, they did what they supposed to do. They actually gave a good media appearance. You know, that's what it's supposed to be for, you know. It's supposed to be for the media to get the name out there so the media then in return can promote what they see of how their fighter looks and how they're showcased. But if you don't showcase anything, I mean, why would you put fucking wraps on with no gloves? That didn't make sense. So yeah, it was a waste of fucking time. The whole thing was. Yeah, Pulev, he's gonna be a tough fight. You know, what's an oxymoron though, like when people don't fight other people from certain stables and shit. Boston Logic's united, peace and pugilism. Keep kicking, champ. Hell yeah, I'm gonna keep kicking like Van Damme. Appreciate your super chat, brother. Just getting ready for the 3 a.m. hype for this weekend. AJ looking sharp, really sharp and strong. I feel bad for what Pulev has coming, rather him than me. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is, you know, Pulev's 39. I thought it was 37. He's 39. But, you know, depends on what happens. You know, if Pulev wins, he's going to fight Fury. You know. And that's that. Bob Arum will get him a late birthday present. I told you the musclehead bastard can't fight. I told you guys. I've been doing this for too long. He's not an elite fighter. He's a fucking soup kitchen. That's all he is. He's a fucking credit union. This fucking guy. He's a model boxer. Put him on Creed 3. Let him play Clubber Lang's kid. Icy ass muscles. Clubber Lang had muscles. AJ should do this. If Pulev wins, what does this mean for Baba Yaga, Joshua? I don't know. Shit, if Pulev wins, this will be the second time. You know what people are going to say. You know what people are going to say. They're going to say, hey, Joshua, he was exposed. He was shell-shocked from the first defeat, and he never really recovered. That's why he fought so timidly in the third fight. You know. Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do. That's exactly what they're gonna say. Absolutely. I can see that shit. You know. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Back at y'all with another one. So, the two-time unified heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, has been exposed due to the fact that he cannot take a punch. He has a revealed glass chin like Amir Khan or Glass Joe from the old 1988 Nintendo game, The First Fighter. He got hit by Pulev. It showed that he cannot take a punch from any heavyweight that is at least in the top 10. In fact, any heavyweight that's in the top 10. And surely, if Wilder, what he would have fought Wilder, which Eddie Hearn did not want him to do, if Wilder would have hit him with his lethal white hand, the former WBC superstar, once beaten, once cheated, heavyweight of the championship of the world, Bomber Wilder, if he would have, in fact, hit him, Joshua, with the right, he would have been similar to Manny Pacquiao or someone much, much worse. That's why Eddie Hearn from Matchroom, the Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn, CEO and chief, did not want that fight to transpire because he was not ready for such a task. Deontay Wilder is by far the most dangerous, hardest super puncher in the history of boxing. That being said, Anthony Joshua is finished. Oh, man. Yeah, that's Blue all the way. He makes sure he gets every label down. Once beaten, once cheated, former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Oh, man. Yeah, that's blue blood. The motherfucker got like 300 people with wrenches. You say something, damn, they gonna that's his minions. Did you watch Sky Sports AJ live workout? Well, let's hope the third fight's happening. I want to see the third fight. You know why I want to see the third fight with Wilder and Fury? Because you know the cat's out of the bag. You know that Tyson Fury is going to have some shit up his sleeve. You know Tyson Fury is going to troll. And Wilder's going to be, you know, he's going to be blasting and accusing. And Tyson Fury is going to be lashing out and talking shit like he knows to say and do. It's going to be funny. Him and his trainer, Javon Sugar Hill, them guys, man, listen, let me tell you, those guys, look, that's going to be one hell of a build-up. I hope the Corona season's gone, kind of. You know, hey, Don, you got to do the left to the right subtitle, shake your head while speaking. Fucking minions. That shit's funny. I wish I had a fucking hat low enough I can get my ears to stick out and shit. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back on y'all with another one. So, tell them, Blue. Oh, man. Currently news about Loma. He's been quiet. Yeah, Loma's healing, man. You know he had that fucking surgery. You know, unless he just let two people cut him in 3 different places on his shoulder and then stitch him up to made it look like he had, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, I mean, I guess if you can do that, wow, whatever. I don't see why he'd want to do that, but, you know, I just hope he's like 100% or whatever. Well, you see Teofimo, he shut that shit down. He's like, dude, I had surgery too. Fuck, I had surgery. His ego has been shot. Well, I think a rematch is, should happen. But see, understand, if Joshua has a rematch with Pulev on a mandatory, that looks bad. That looks fucking very, very bad if there's a rematch. I don't know if there is. But if there's a rematch clause on a mandatory, that's no better than fucking Fury and Wilder doing that fucking, it's a mandatory, but I'm gonna have a rematch bullshit. There's no rematches in mandatories. It won't matter any fucking way. He ain't gonna fight he ain't gonna fight Fury. But I mean, it is some shit like, yo, Wilder, fight somebody else, bro. Go pick another girl to date or to become infatuated with or something. You act like Fury got the best piece of pussy on the planet. Jesus Christ. He said it about Dillian White. Or no, he said it about his own stuff. But come on, man, you damn. Now you must face me, thief. all that big stars were putting rematches in Mandos. Canelo, Loma, Fury, Triple G. It's money, insurance. Yeah, obviously so. Obviously so. Cesaro's 2-time. Rematches are all mandatories too. Well, shit, you stuck with a motherfucker. You fight him, you stuck with him. You know? Kurt Usyk versus Joshua. Who do you favor more potential now? Usyk versus Joshua. I think Usyk's going to give people... Well, I think that's what they normally do. They normally, if you're the champion in another belt, like the WBC, they don't rank you because of that. But see, if you notice, Mauricio, knowing, or that's the next... talked about a fight with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. I congratulate his appreciation and challenge for the WBC heavyweight champion. It would be an honor for Anthony Joshua to fight for the WBC belt. Fucking jerk. Not bad. Kurt, salute. Have you found Radio Raheem? You know what? I was thinking about that cat. Like, dude, who the fuck stole him? Fucking Deontay Wilder? Your people too, bitch. You thought I was done with you. You thought I was done. Shh. Let him hang. No, let him hang. Marcelo's let him hang from the tree. Big up MMA, hope you good. It's only a rematch. If AJ loses, so we will only see one fight since AJ will win. Well, that's a good thing. You know, I don't want any shit to happen. But like if Pulev wins, you're gonna see it. Yeah, I don't know where Radio Raheem is. They might have fired, you know, they probably fired him and ain't told nobody shit. You know, that's that old, hey, get out of the business, here's your severance, get the fuck out, don't say nothing. You know? I mean, Seconds Out is a pretty good channel, like a pretty big channel. What channel is fighting? What channel is the fight showing on? Real Talk Boxing. It's going to be on DAZN over here in the States, and it's going to be on Sky Sports back in the UK if you're from the UK. Now, if you're any other country, bro, I don't know. Kurt, have you personally met any of the top 10 heavyweights? No. Met Frank Sanchez. I don't think he's a top 10 yet. Talk in the chat. There will be no need for a rematch. AJ KO Pulev in round 8. Okay, round 8. Well, I mean, this fight is very important for a lot of reasons. Anthony Joshua, he wins this fight, he can show like, okay, hey, I'm back. You know what I mean? With the opposition, with the position, he's back. If he can get a KO, I think that would really complete Joshua mentally, because then he knows, okay, cool, that wasn't just a fluke. You know what I mean? I can, you know, a lot of people have psychological hangups and shit. Mental blocks when it comes to look at Adrian Broner, for example. He got the shit beat out of him by Marcos Maidana. He was never the same. He was never the same type of fighter. You know, he was fucking broken. Lee, appreciate you, man. Yeah, Dean White's a cool cat. AJ is going to stop him in 4 rounds. Pulev is going to get flat flashbacks of Klitschko fight. It's funny about that fight, about those 3 guys. You know, Pulev had fought Joshua. Everybody's fought each other in those 3. When coming Saturday. Joshua's fought Klitschko. Joshua's fought Pulev. Klitschko dropped Joshua. Klitschko dropped Pulev. You know, well, we have to see. We'll see what's going on. Vicious left hook to the mid-range. Parker versus Fa Saturday too. Saturday? You sure? I don't know. I thought that fight was off. Kirk Joyce versus Hunter. What do you think? Joyce versus Hunter. That'd be a good fight. You know why? Because Joyce is a guy that he has problems with movers. See, that's going to be his kryptonite right there. That's going to be something that I think that's going to bother him because of that style. This is Pulev's final chance. Hopefully he gives it everything he's got, so there can be no questions after the fight. Hopefully. You know, it's weird. I just wish the best of everybody, you know. Like, look at Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, without that win, I mean, it would have been a blessing. Don't get me wrong. It would have been a blessing for him if he would have, even if he would have lost. But look what it did for his notoriety as a fighter, as a person, you know, as a people. Joshua blessed that dude. And I don't mean, you know, like that type of blessing that Deontay Wilder blesses you with. I mean, that he gave him that solid ass blessing, you know? Are you a cop? No, I'm not a cop. Then he can get some sushi after. I know, right? Yeah, she'll probably be all over him then. Hey, Pulev! Pulev! Get the weight, bitch. Mike Tyson told me about few types of bitches. I can see that too, because she'll be trying to get an interview, throwing herself on people's laps and shit, pretending like she's a fucking, you know, professional reporter like that. And in fact, you know, Jenny Suchet, that what foiled that whole thing is she was at the party after that supposed malicious attack or inappropriate encounter with Pulev. She was there at the fucking party in the same camp, in the same group of people, Pulev's team. So if you were there, you couldn't have been that fucked up and that traumatized if you're still over there fucking with them. I really feel sorry for Big Pharmacy Miller. Yeah, he asked out. He couldn't fucking stop taking drugs. I mean, look at it this way. Would you rather take an ass whooping from AJ and get $4 or $5 million, or get fucking busted for drugs and keep keep an undefeated record? That's what you ask yourself. You know, which one would you prefer? Give me the fucking L so I can take the M's. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Now I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. Yeah, fuck that. Cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, and just do what you're supposed to do. But if you notice something about Jarrell Miller, though, Jarrell Miller he's probably a real fat dude that works out all the time. He probably eats a lot of cheeseburgers and shit. I love cheeseburgers, man. Ask Carlos Valencia. You know what I mean? Yeah, he has he comes on the chat, but he has a place down there. He works at like a burger joint. Fucking place is fire. If you guys ever go to Waco, Texas, you got to go to that. You got to go to Cups Drive-In. It's delicious. It's like old maid over what? Yeah, it's good, man. But back to Miller. I don't want to get too far off topic. Miller probably felt he needed the steroids because without them, he'd probably, you know, have titties and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He's a big guy. And he probably felt it, you know. Que lo que? ¿Qué tal, amigo? He probably felt that he needed them because he's been taking them so long. He just, you know, took them so long that he knows how to cycle off of them. See, if you notice, like, they found small traces. Anytime you find small, there might have been bigger traces once, you know, upon a time. You know, it's like any test you fail is the amount they find in your body. They were just trying to filter and cycle off that shit by whatever they do to get off. But according to Jarrell Miller, knows all that drug shit. He's a fucking professional at it. You know, so he was worried about, you know, figure, endurance, stamina, performance enhancing drugs. Yeah. The biggest irony is he accused Joshua of juicing the entire time. He called Joshua juice money the day before he popped. You know what, slide 1216? You know what I think happened? I think the people that he deals with understand drug dealers are drug dealers. You know, they're salesmen. They were probably selling him that idea because a rumor was probably going around like, you know what? Hey, you know your boy you about to fight, you know he do this shit too. For real, kid? For real? You know. So if Polev gets cracked, will he try to survive or go swinging out like Andy? No, I think he'll try to survive. Because I've been watching his fights. I've seen Chisora hit him a couple times. And that's where the experience comes in. Pulev ain't going to try. If he gets hurt, he's going to try to reserve himself. And he's going to lock you up. That's what he did to Chisora. Just Chisora's so much of a fucking brawler. You know, he couldn't take a couple steps back and nail his ass again. You know, that's how Fury ended up stopping Wilder. Fury took a small little step back. That's the adjustment. Because that stops Deontay for grabbing him because he's so close. Anytime if a person gets in range to hit you, you can grab him, you know. But if he steps back and you go to grab him, boop, 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 he can step back and come right back in. Well, that's good. I hope so. He will own, in New York, the size of a block, and that's his life for the next decade. Yeah, I hope so. Call that bitch Juicy's. You did. Welcome to Juicy's. I'm pretty sure he said he was going to expose him on Instagram or something. Then he blacked out. Reporting yourself? What do you mean you're reporting yourself? I think Pulev will go for the body, in all honesty. He may. He may go for the body. Yeah, that's a good question. I was going to ask you who's going to expose who. I was wondering that myself. You talking about Big Baby Miller? No, not Yingling. Presidentes. Oh, who the hell is catch some Z's in a late night in Scotland? Lindsey Crawford, counterpunch to you. Pretty sure he said he was going to expose him on Instagram. My coffee isn't properly dry yet. To the good people, bro. I heard that. Is Provetkin one of the best heavyweights to never win a belt? That's wrong. He has. He has been a belt holder. He was a champion. The Modern Martial Artist did a decent breakdown about Spence Jr.'s, by the way. I started a riot in the comments saying he won't fight Crawford. Yeah. Yeah, they don't want you to say that, especially if they're, like a lot of particular, especially if it's a PR. If you're trying to promote something, you don't want slander at that direct time. Provetkin's crushed white. Dragon leg. Did Provetkin win the WBA? He did. It was the WBA. Yeah, that's Provetkin. That's a champion for you, showing that championship mentality. Yeah, but it's going to be hard for Terrence Crawford, though. Terrence Crawford, he's not a guy that people necessarily want to like fall in love with, admire, but not fall in love with, or hate. See, if you are obnoxious or you're a person like that, people, they don't like you to the point where they grow animosity, to the point where they find themselves watching what you do just to hate what you do, watching your fights just to see you lose. That type of Mayweather shit. That's how you become stupidly successful. But Terrence Crawford don't have none of that shit. He's not a guy you wake up and you see on TV like, man, I can't stand that motherfucker. I hate Bud, Man, it's been some knockouts this year though. Baranchik, that shit was crazy. Davis knocking out Santa Cruz, that shit was crazy. That was crazy, man. He hit Santa Cruz and knocked that boy out for about 2 minutes. That was fucking scary. He knew he did it too. Bow! He caught him and it was over with. Fucking left uppercut. And he was throwing it all night. To be honest, Provetkin won the regular WBA. The super was with Klitschko. Well, that's true, but he was still he was still a world champion. You know what I mean? He just wasn't a super world champion. Man, AJ's public workout was closed and we couldn't even see it. I mean, it was just like, Craig, it was something, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what was it? What did we watch that shit for? To see the undercard of the people that, that was, showcased? Rana Kudu, what up, what up? I didn't think White slept on Provetkin. I just didn't think most boxing fans slept on him. I just think, yeah, most people did. They thought Provetkin, look, everything was against Provetkin. He was beaten for the second time. He was on his way out. He had a draw with Michael Hunter. People were thinking to themselves, like, you know what? That's another good win for Dillian White when he gonna give Dillian White his opportunity. Dillian White went in there and got knocked the fuck out. After dropping him twice, though. So you don't imagine you drop someone twice, you ain't gonna think that. You would never think the momentum will shift to that degree. You know what I'm saying? AJ's public workout was him wrapping his hands for 30 minutes. Haha, a menace for that. Yeah, that was shitty. He's fucking rapping there. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, a lot of people think that. Usyk is about to cull quite a few Brits. Uh-oh. I think Nate dude on himself when he got knocked out. Not unless he died. They say when you die, you shit yourself. Regular WBA isn't a real belt. That's like saying Manuel Charr is a world champion because he's got a regular WBA. Well, I mean, he's still something. He walks around with a fucking belt. I bet you he still pays sanctioning fees. D-Town Blaster, what's up, brother? Who you all got on Saturday? I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Not saying anything. Not yet. JP, blessings to you back, brother. Usyk is calling out AJ and Joyce has called out Usyk. Well, Usyk is doing his job because Usyk knows he's in position, And you're spot on with Spence having zero energy for fighting Crawford. It's standard PBC ducking tactics. Craig Joya, that's all it is. And then the sad thing about Errol Spence should fucking know better. Errol Spence should know what it's like to be ducked because Keith Thurman did that shit to him. Counterpunch. Keith Thurman did that shit to him. Yep. Sure did. But I mean, looking back at that, I understand why. I can understand why, because for one, I'm not going to fight someone that's not my mandatory just because someone else that don't want to fight me says so. Fuck that. Counterpunch. I think he should fight. Errol Spence. I think could, he's one of the top fighters. I got AJ and Shakur Stevenson winning their matches. I will be going live for both fights. Definitely for AJ and Pulev. I like Shakur Stevenson, mad talented. And it's like Bob gets all these fucking phenom people, and he don't really fucking keep though. He don't keep them. Look over the last years, like look at the last 20 years. Just the last 20. Just the last 20. Like that's been a short time. But look at that shit, man. You look at that, but you got this shit where saludos Kirk, keep the good news coming. Mil pillas, Jalisco. I will. And you know, but back to Errol Spence though. Errol Spence should know how it feels to be ducked, because a lot of people did that to him. Peace, brother. Keep up the good content. Appreciate you, Craig. Adam Cram, counterpunch to you, bro. I want to see Bud versus Porter. I think Bud knocks out Porter. Ooh. If he can knock out Porter, you know what that means? And just for the fuck of it, let's do it. Because see, at that point, if he beats, that's how Manny Pacquiao got to be Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao was just fighting the best. He wasn't fighting the people just because Floyd fought him. He just so happened to fight people and beat them better than Floyd beat them. That's how the automatic comparison came about. People started doing that. Manny was the man. Manny was doing this to Cotto. Manny was doing this to Hatton. Manny was doing this to Mosley. Manny was doing this to Clottey. Manny was retiring De La Hoya, doing this to De La Hoya. Manny was doing all this shit that Floyd, if he either fought these dudes, he either went 12 rounds with them, or it wasn't a stellar or more stellar performance than Manny Pacquiao did. Counterpunch. So if Crawford wants to show and wants to really start, if he wants a good promoter, come see me. Let's get fucking Sean Porter in there. Let's get that fight. I'll promote that fight. And if he knocks out the fucking one of the faces of PBC, because understand something about Sean Porter. Sean Porter is not just a fighter. Sean Porter is an ambassador. He's a fighter and a commentator. He gets 2 checks, okay? He commentates those fights. He gets paid off top of that. So he's getting paid in between training camps. That's Sean Porter. Sean Porter's a rugged, tough fighter that's very competitive in game. And most importantly, because he's a commentator, he has a certain type of image. He's like the clean-cut version of R2 PBC. You see Sean Porter, he's that guy. He's that stand-up guy for the PBC. He's that voice. He's the man in the suit. You know, he's that ambassador, okay? He's that example of PBC. That's Sean Porter. Showtime. But he gives it his all. I like Sean Showtime Porter. He don't talk a lot of shit or nothing like that. But, you know, it's politics involved with the brother. So if he does get a fight with Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford stops him, he would be the first to ever do it. Not Brooke, not Keith Thurman, not Errol Spence have been able to stop him. If Terrence Crawford stops Sean Porter, it'll be hard to not compare them to. Because the first thing they're going to say was, shit, Errol Spence, you didn't do that. A lot of people think you lost. Keith Thurman, you didn't do that. A lot of people think you lost. You see what I'm saying? People should fear him, definitely. And it's not how hard he hits, it's where he hits you and how he hits you. You don't see a punch coming and all of a sudden, kaboom, down. Kaboom. Yeah, styles make fights. Slotello presents. They make fights. But guys, it's going to be an early morning. Stay tuned for the early morning talks. I'm going to have out also the prediction for Joshua Pulev. A couple more videos, of course. You guys have a good night. I'm going to lay it down. Sleep tight. Be safe. And you guys, all you guys, have been Counterpunch. Peace.